The myth of the tennis Cinderella story, and the U.S. Open players writing their own chapters. Flushing Meadows, New York, the French wild card who roared into the semifinals of her home Grand Slam, 1 year on from a serious knee injury that ruled her out of the French Open 1 week before it started. The Canadian wild card who rolled through her home WTA 1000 on debut, beating 4 Grand Slam champions to complete her rise from the 300s to the top 30 of the women's tennis rankings. Lois Boisson and Victoria Mboko's rises have all the hallmarks of a tennis fairy tale, the sudden thrust into stardom that constitutes the Cinderella story, one of the most enduring archetypes in sports. There's just one problem. It's not the real story. The real story is far from the bright lights and big stadiums of the 4 Grand Slams and the 1,000-level tournaments, one rung below them. The ITF World Tennis Tour is the lowest tier of professional tennis, 2 below the WTA Tour. Its tournaments offer little prize money and ranking points and are dotted all across the globe. For some players, it is their entire tennis existence. For others, it is a place for developing a winning habit that becomes a springboard to the upper echelons of the sport. Before Boisson's Paris run, she was 14-4 in ITF matches in 2025. Before Mboko's triumph in Montreal, she was 25-1, including a 22-win streak. Belinda Bencic, who returned to the WTA Tour in January after giving birth to her first child and has risen from world number 421 to world number 19, started that return with 2 ITF events. Mboko and Boisson are out of the U.S. Open, but a winning machine who looks like a star emerging fully formed remains. Janice Chen, a 23-year-old from Indonesia who until last year played college tennis at Pepperdine University, just north of Los Angeles, came through qualifying before beating number 24 seed Veronika Kudermetova in the first round. It was her first main draw Grand Slam match, and she defeated one of the top 25 players in the world. The start of a fairy tale? Or the culmination of 100 wins in 113 matches on the ITF World Tennis Tour, including streaks of 20, 16, and 27 matches and, in one stint, 42 sets? My coach and I always talk about if it is a first round, if it's an ITF, if it's a final, we're going to try to approach it as if it were just another match, Jen said in an interview on Sunday. And I think that has helped me with handling the nerves. That coach, Chris Bent, said in an interview the following day, we use the phrase, the ball doesn't care. The ball doesn't care who's down the other end. It's still a tennis court with the same dimensions. Down the other end in the second round will be Emma Raducanu, the fairy tale of fairy tales in professional tennis over the past 25 years. Raducanu became the first qualifier to win a Grand Slam at this tournament 4 years ago, not dropping a set on her run to the most improbable of titles. She started university and graduated 2 weeks later, as one British tennis executive said. Jen's journey and those of Mboko and Boisson, as well as Czech player Tereza Valentova, who plays 2022 Wimbledon champion Elena Rybakina, have been more like going on work experience at a smaller firm and then applying the knowledge acquired at a big company. Unranked last May, Jen qualified for and won the lowest-level ITF event in Monastir, Tunisia, to get her foot on the ladder. There are no professional women's events in Indonesia. She has traveled during her time at Pepperdine and beyond to move up the rankings. She met Bint by chance at the end of last year when she was in New Zealand for a couple of tournaments. Originally from England, he was the national tennis performance coach for the country, where he coached Vivian Yang, a fellow Pepperdine alumna and a friend of Jen's. Bint was taken by Jen's game and willingness to learn, and took a couple of weeks holiday to travel with her to a pair of events in South Korea in April and May. Jen won one of them and reached the final in the other, and Bint became convinced she had something special. He quit his job with New Zealand Tennis and started coaching her full-time. That something special largely comes from a heavy, spitting topspin forehand that dovetails with an aggressive backhand slice, the result of Jen growing up idolizing 3-time Grand Slam champion Ash Barty. Clips of Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Carlos Alcaraz feature in their training sessions, Bint said, as Jen learns to use that forehand to dominate from all parts of the court.